Hello everyone, I am Paul, and welcome back to another video. Pokemon is one of the biggest and largest franchises in history, and probably one of Nintendo's biggest golden gooses, right up there with the Mario franchise and The Legend of Zelda. Now, initially this video would have been like a discussion on the Pokemon Presents, since as of this video, which is hopefully coming out today, it is National Pokemon Day here in February 2023. But after recently sitting through it and watching all of it, I found between the lack of information I personally had an interest in, the incredibly poor pacing and delivery throughout, and the very disturbing looking CGI Pikachu that they decided to have do absolutely nothing except sit there, I decided I wanted to talk about something else. Pokemon for me, like a lot of others, really means a lot. Grew up with it, had its ups and downs. I'm a black and white generation kid. I want to say it's Gen 5, but just I'm a black and white kid myself. That's when I was in elementary in Pokemon. That's the generation we had coming out. Even though I heard like virtually nothing about Black and White 2. So before X and Y, that was my generation. Basically Black and White. So Snivy, Tepig, and Oshawott are the starters that mean the most to me, technically. My favorite starters, though, come from Gen 3. And my personal favorite Pokemon game that I've played. This here is my DS. A Gen 1 DS. DS games go in the top, but GBA games go in the bottom. And with this very DS that I got some 4 or 5 years ago for Christmas with my grandmother, within it, we have here, first game I ever played on. My copy of Pokemon Emerald version. The first mainline Pokemon game I ever played. Mudkip is my favorite starter. End of story. This game means a lot to me. I have a lot of very special memories of it. Pokemon Emerald, Pokemon Ruby, technically, is how I got into JN Animations. It's a very special time in my life. It's a crucial moment in the Pokemon franchise, and I love this game dearly. It has its flaws. It has things that annoy me. It has things I'm not a huge fan of course. But it still just means so much to me with all the good memories. But even then, I'll just get to the actual topic of this video, because I could go on about Pokemon a lot, and I'm not prepared to do that today. What I do want to talk about is who is currently my favorite Pokemon out of the 1,000+ roster, as well as my favorite Eeveelution. I'm going to discuss this Pokemon just going down each item in the franchise that I have of this guy, of this species, because I have quite a few, honestly. I doubt I would break any Guinness World Records because I don't think they do them individually for Pokemon except for mainline ones like Pikachu, but it still means so much to me. And if you know me, you know exactly who it is. So with that, get ready, because I'm about to show you my favorite Pokemon of all time. As of now, in 3, 2, 1. This is my Mimikyu. One of many. My absolute favorite Pokemon. Okay, so first off, I'm going to show my Mimikyu plush, who you just saw. I got him super recently at a comic shop here in town, and I've been looking for a Mimikyu plush for a really long time, really well carved. So the important thing to understand if you don't know about Mimikyu is that these are not his eyes. These are technically his eyes from what we can tell. Hell, he has this wooded, knotted back, and this bottom, beneath his cloak, is the real essence of Mimikyu. Mimikyu is an unusual character, and this Pikachu-like figure over him is a rag that it was made in an effort to make him look less scary and have people like him. Unfortunately, it makes people disturb him even more, and if you dare to directly look under his cloak forcibly, you will permanently die of fright. You will die of fright instantly. Because he is a fairy-type Pokemon, but falls under Psychic in the card game, which goes for Ghost and Psychic, he's a very disturbed character, much like other characters. The Mimikyu plush I got very recently, so I wanted to show that off. This was the first Mimikyu-related item I ever owned. This is a... just a sec. This is made by Nanoblock, which is a type of Lego-esque series designed in Japan since 2008. And they're basically like a very small, trimmed-down version of Lego. And since Lego doesn't make official Pokemon sets yet, this was my first time I ever got to do this. And this guy was difficult to make, but I really like him. And since he was the first Mimikyu thing I ever owned, it means a lot to me. I think they did a great job adapting the design into this. After that, this is from a type of model kit that you can find at Games Ahoy. I got him after the Nanoblock one. Unfortunately, when building him, this wouldn't close for some reason. Maybe I didn't snap him incorrectly, but it's really delicate. It was not worth risking breaking. But it's just a very good model of it again. The stickers here had to be gently placed on, which was tricky. And the mouth looks a little off because of the side. So up close, it looks a little more like a cover. So it looks a bit odd. But other than that, I think it works quite well. Again, it's really nice. Okay, so this next one is not an official Mimikyu piece. It's the first one of those that we're seeing. This guy is a crocheted Mimikyu that I got at my first convention I ever went to. And he means a lot to me as well. I got a very nice little Deadpool one as well next to him. It's really well done. I'm a huge fan of crochet, even though I don't do it myself. And it's really well adapted because you have to have that zigzag mouth, the eyes down here, and the more twisted voodoo doll style eyes there for it to be a Mimikyu and not a Pikachu. This one's really special. This is a 3D printed Mimikyu from scratch by my close friend Master of the Memes, who you know from my Epic Mickey videos doing my thumbnails. And right down to the split on the side here, it's really well carved. He gave this to me as a Christmas gift. I'm super impressed by it. I really like how it turned out. This one is a Mimikyu drawing that was just made by my girlfriend. That's just really, really cute, and I really like it. It means a lot to me. It was one of the first Mimikyu pieces I ever got when I was starting to grow more and more attached to him. And this is a Mimikyu tin from the trading card game because he was one of those characters that was worth buying a booster pack tin for, as expensive as it might have been. Because with that tin, we now come to the cards I have. Because this is my initial Mimikyu card that I currently have sealed. And the description says, it wears a rag fashioned into a Pikachu costume in an effort to look less scary. Unfortunately, the costume only makes it creepier. You'll see here that the eyes are glowing, which communicates that these are his eyes. She's eyes. And Mimikyu is the disguise Pokemon. This one has heal jamming. Your opponent's benched Pokemon can't be healed, and claw slash. Because it's hard to see in the video, but these right here are claws that come up from under the cloak. It's one of the only parts that we know of what's truly underneath. I have a second form of this card, which is just a shiny holofoil style, and has a little pumpkin Pikachu down there. And that's because I got this from the Trick or Trade booster pack Halloween set for Mimis, and Mimikyu is one of them. So this is a special variant of that card. This one, I want to say, was the first Mimikyu card I ever got. This is a super pretty one with the trainer, who I'm not familiar with, gently sewing him up, sewing a small stitch on him right there. This one has Impersonation. Discard a supporter card from your hand. If you do, use the effect of that card as the effect of this attack. Then Mischievous Hands. Choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on each of them. This is a really pretty card that I'm really happy for. It says, although it's a quiet, lonely Pokemon, if you try to look at what's under its rag, it will become agitated and resist violently. So yeah, just with Mimikyus, there's a difference between gently picking it up and looking under it if you lift all the way up, and then just outright grabbing its cloak and trying to look over. But then we have something truly special that I'm very proud of. So in addition to that one, because I got that booster pack, this is my Mimikyu VMAX. evolves from Mimikyu V, and it's a Dynamax form. This is one of the few Dynamax Pokemon cards I have, and it's really cool. It just looks so pretty. I'm so excited to have it. This one has ominous numbers. Put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. If you played a Sorlo's Premonition from your hand during this turn, place 13 damage counters instead. And Max Shadow, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. That mostly rounds out my collection, at least that I have right now. There's one more piece that I unfortunately don't have with me today, and there's one other piece over there that you're about to see in a minute. So real fast over here, this piece of art was picked up by my girlfriend in a convention last year that I wasn't able to make it to. It's a really pretty Mimikyu, and I didn't get to go to the convention, so she got this really pretty piece for me. I just didn't want to take it off the wall, try and show it with the rest. Now, while all of those reflect my favorite Pokemon, like a lot of people, I have my favorite Eeveelution. Again, because of when I was in the franchise, a lot of the Eeveelutions we have now didn't exist yet. I was at a time when we still had the original 3, Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon, Fire, Electric, and Water. Now, we have one for each species, and the original Eevee. And I think you should have caught on by now. My favorite Eeveelution is Umbreon, the Dark type Eevee. This is my Umbreon plushie, purchased for me at a convention by my girlfriend, who in turn I have since given to Vaporeons, her favorite, as well as a Vaporeon V Max card, whereas I recently was able to purchase this Umbreon V Max card. I recently was able to pick this up, so I now have an Umbreon card, which wasn't easy to find for a while. I'm not really sure what it is, but it really is nice that we have these pairings, and that no matter who is the most commonly, and who you'll see most often, because you'll often see, who's it? It's not Sylveon. No, Sylveon is fairy type. Espeon. Espeon psychic type is often paired with Umbreon dark type, but trust me, in a very positive way, especially if you're a Pokemon fan with your special someone, whoever that someone is. If each of you have an Eeveelution that you love, you're gonna find a good art. You're gonna find someone who did a great job putting the two together. Whether it's an Umbreon and a Vaporeon, a Sylveon and a Jolteon, whatever you come up with that is yours and your couple, there is a Pokemon for you and your other. Because Pokemon is for everyone. We don't need to catch them all in order to love them all. Happy Pokemon Day, Nintendo. Here's to many more years of these funny little pocket monsters. But honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to Pokepark 3. I did grow up with Pokepark 2 on my Wii as well before I got Emerald, but that doesn't really count as a mainline title, so, you guys like money. There's your opportunity for the money. See y'all next time.